everybody! Today it is time for another monthly recommends video, and this month's topic is the best new to you authors of 2016. This year has mostly been about me discovering new authors and also rekindling my love for previous authors that I haven't read any stories from them in a very long time. And I do have to say that most of this year's reading has gone splendidly well, and I have discovered many new authors to me. And with that, we're starting off with one of my favorite new series of 2016, and that is the study series by Maria V Snyder. I was impressed at how Maria V Snyder's writing and world building took over, and I just enjoyed the story. And with each subsequent book after that, I absolutely loved the land of Ixia so much more. Book 1 is Poison Study, and this takes place with a girl named Yelena who becomes a poison taste tester for the commander of Ixia. When I first read this book, I was a little disappointed because I was thinking it was going to be a monarchy, very like flowy, pretty dresses, stuff like that. So picking up this story, it was very different than what I had anticipated, and the more I look back on it, the more I love this story. And reading the next two books in this series, Magic Study and Fire Study, I have just grown to love this series so much more and appreciate the characters. I am definitely not stopping at the third book, Fire Study. I'm probably going to devour all of Maria V Snyder's books. Next, we're gonna go with an author that I discovered through one of my friends, and that is Hidden: A Child's Story of the Holocaust by Loïc Davilliers. I read this through the recommendation of my friend Rebecca. It's a very heart-wrenching and heartwarming story about the Holocaust and its survivors. It's a grandmother who was a child during World War II, and it's her survival story that she is telling to her granddaughter, and it's a children's graphic novel. So it's very interesting seeing how they take this very adult topic and turn it into something teachable for children. Next, I have a story that I snagged from a fellow booktuber, Joss from Squibbles Reads. She was doing a try a chapter challenge and came across a book called The Listener by Rachel Bosch. And just her excitement and her descriptions and summary of just that first chapter made me need to pick this book up. And I really enjoyed it, and looking back on the story, I just love it so much more. This is a book about a therapist named Malcolm who is treating a boy named Noah. Noah is having an identity crisis in his freshman year of college, and as Malcolm treats Noah, he also discovers how much he needs to heal himself, especially because he's still hung up on the death of his wife from several years previous. Next, we have a book that one of the doctors I work for recommended to me, and he really loves suspense thriller stories. He recommended I read Gone Girl, and last year it was one of my top favorite books of the year, so I immediately jumped onto the bandwagon of his next recommendation, and that is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This is a very twisted story about a girl named Rachel who is an alcoholic, and she is riding the train and she spies people from her previous neighborhood and watches them. One of the houses that she enjoys watching on her daily commute, one of those inhabitants, a girl named Jess, goes missing. And Rachel decides to take it upon herself to solve the mystery of her disappearance. And it definitely is this twisted rabbit hole of a story where you're figuring things out all the way till the end, especially because as she is a drunk, a lot of her own memories are unreliable for her. So it is a very interesting, very suspenseful story. Next, we have a book that I saw at the store, and its premise intrigued me so much that it made me stop my book buying ban, because my January resolution was to read the books on my shelves before buying another book. I lasted until April with The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I was in a bit of a reading slump during February and March, and picking this book up definitely tore me out of that reading slump. It is about a girl named Eden who gets raped, and she has to figure out how she is going to handle this, if she's going to tell anybody or if she's going to keep it a secret. It follows 4 years of her life, from the date of her rape all the way to her senior year of high school. It is a very heart-wrenching story. It's traumatic. There's definitely trigger warnings in this story, so definitely be aware of this before you pick it up. But I highly recommend it if you can handle such traumatic stories. The next author I have was a recommendation by my friend Joey. He actually bought me the 2 books that she had written for me to read, which I am internally grateful for, because her writing is hilarious. She definitely goes all out as she writes her memoirs and things about her life. And that is Jenny Lawson, particularly in Let's Pretend This Never Happened, a mostly true memoir, and Furiously Happy, a funny book about horrible things. Both of her books really dive into mental illness, as Jenny Lawson has a lot of anxiety that she works through every day in her life. It has some really great messages. All of the stories are so funny that I wonder if she's going to write any other books, or if I just need to jump on her blog bandwagon and just read some of her everyday tales. Those are the 6 books I want to recommend to you for my favorite new to me authors of 2016. If you have a favorite new author of 2016, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to get your recommendation so I can find a new potential author that I would love as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye!